realized it's really important to look at the name of things. And choosing the name Transform for this program was really looking at two things. The first thing, it was saying we have many social protection experts and practitioners out there. We have many good policies and ideas across every country in this region. Where we fail is in implementation. So what we should be doing is coming together, bringing those practitioners together with all of their experience in different places, sharing it, but saying we want to transform the way we're all working. For me, transform means change that brings another change and never has the possibility of changing back. So we're always transforming and going forward.
I think that how transform differs from other approaches in terms of curriculum design and education is that a lot of other curriculums tend to be quite PowerPoint driven, and it tends to be led from the teacher, and it's very passive learning. People listen to information, they jot it down, they get given notes and they go home. Whereas this is much more recognizing that people come with knowledge, and it's as much gaining knowledge from your peers as it is from gaining knowledge from the facilitator teacher.
We're deconstructing some of the ways that people were previously kind of thinking and working in social protection, and then reconstructing a web, showing how all of these elements work together, providing some conceptual frameworks that help people to really see what their role as individuals kind of is within that living system.
Transform applies an innovative pedagogic approach that aims at imparting state-of-the-art knowledge that is appropriate to the challenges faced by countries in the African region. The objective of Transform is to build critical mindsets and capacities of practitioners to improve the governance and administration of social protection systems. Through thinking and practice, participants go through a leadership and transformation journey involving personal and group reflection on the role they can play in improving social protection systems.
So initially, my expectation was maybe we are going to have a kind of discussion which is more on the information flow from one side, and then the audience there to receive what is dictated by the facilitator. But the situation was not in that way. What we have here is almost 90%, or I can say 95%, the delegates or the participants are supposed to discuss and to lead the way we are supposed to go and to achieve the objective of the program.
Systemic learning requires appreciation and conceptualizing the role that each component of a respective system plays in creation of sustainable, effective, and nationally defined social protection systems. The Transform Learning Package is organized in a modular structure and reflects the key building blocks of a holistic social protection system. Transform covers key components of social protection systems: legal frameworks, selection and identification, administration and delivery systems, coordination, governance, institution and organizational structure, management, information systems and approaches to data integration, financing and financial management, and monitoring and evaluation.
For me, what was really important in this particular training was that we were introduced to the fact that the social protection system is a live system. It's not static, it evolves, and it also involves a lot of different building blocks, and these building blocks have to be looked at and be implemented and maybe designed even in a way that is coherent and integrates the different building blocks for the system to be effective in implementation of its programs.
The Transform program builds the capacity of practitioners to grapple with the complexity of social and human elements in specific contexts and stimulate creativity and innovation to solve emerging problems, taking into account the diversity and uniqueness of each situation. This builds capacity to be involved and take ownership in change and transformation.
The curriculum is non-assumptive, it allows you to think, in terms of your own country context. But it's also very comprehensive. It covers so many areas. It feels like everything is there. But at least for me, who's relatively new to the entire picture of social protection and what is being done in the sub-Saharan African area, I think it's very good. And I think because the focus is not so much on giving a very specific way of doing things, but rather to say this is a frame in which we think we have identified and we have good examples from different parts of the continent, different parts of the world, to help you to determine whether or not these are which way you could go in your own country. I think that's really important.
One of the main emphasis of the Transform is the leadership and transformation process. And that hasn't been very emphasized in my background to social protection. And although I've worked in relatively good positions of leadership prior to the Transform process, I think the exposure to the content of leadership and transformation has been a huge surprise and a positive surprise, I must add.
A community of regional master trainers has been formed to facilitate continuous integration and exchange of lessons and experiences. Social protection practitioners and adult learning experts from Africa deliver the Transform program across the region and contribute to its constant adaptation.
We need to realize that in this training of trainers, the learners had to discover the material. It was almost overnight. They were asked to prepare and to present as if they were teaching for many years. Actually, it was a new experience for many, especially I think not so much the content, but the way it was meant to be delivered.
The role of trainers is critical in enabling a nexus between theory and practice and ensuring that participants understand and appreciate the interwoven nature of social protection systems. The trainer has a role to understand the context of the training environment and constantly adapt the material to the level of knowledge and needs of the participants.
It's a very huge undertaking and a very huge responsibility to be able to effectively deliver as a trainer to an audience where you want to put across a certain message. So you should be able to do it in a way that enables continued engagement with the audience. So it's been a very practical learning experience, and also practical in terms of delivery, and also in terms of the skill and also the knowledge.
The accreditation is a two-part accreditation. One was attending the TOT, and the next is facilitating or co-facilitating an actual Transform curriculum. And once they've done both of those, then they're free to actually facilitate this on their own.
The learning package includes a complete kit for the trainer and participants, including activities toolbox, scenarios and case studies, participants' materials, and handouts. Leadership and transformation tools and adult learning techniques are used to facilitate running of sessions. These are important for outlining key learning points derived from the training.
I came with a fairly good amount of expectation that the learning and transformation activities will be embedded, and that I was pleasantly surprised to see some of those great tools coming in and getting us to reflect, getting us to critically look into not only knowledge, not only theory and facts, but also deeply seated attitudes, behavior, and mindsets.
I've been really impressed with the facilitators and the level of expertise that they actually have, because I think it's been quite impressive to be able to capture such deep knowledge and find so many specific tools to emit that knowledge, but also to ensure that we have the actual facilitation skills and to develop those skills.
The delivery of the Transform program can be customized to country context and cascaded efficiently to reach large numbers of social protection leaders and practitioners. Training of trainers courses can be held to facilitate rolling out the Transform program at national and sub-national level. All Transform materials, including an online Transform e-learning course, are available through the socialprotection.org platform.
Our vision is that transform eventually and ultimately belongs and will belong to governments and country states who are embarking in the process of reforming or strengthening their social protection systems. Transform has been developed as a request from the African Union, and this really puts national governments at the center of this process. This is why we are also working hard to establish partnerships at country level with different training, academic institutions, other capacity building institutions who can take the legacy of the Transform curriculum developed until now and develop more kind of context-specific versions of it, domesticate its content, and also blend it into existing or planned both pre-service and in-service training programs that we know many countries are willing and intend to deliver over the coming years.
There's actually quite a lot of important and valuable stuff in the curricula of Zambian, Tanzanian, Ethiopian training institutions and universities, but there are also some gaps. So we are supporting these universities and colleges in their efforts to further develop their curricula, their master's or bachelor level or professional proficiency curricula to meet the expectations that your governments have for the new recruits who become the new professionals of social protection in your countries.
So training the staff in their mindset as well as in the tools and the systems to have an effective and efficient social protection system is very, very important. We see that the trajectory going forward is very positive.
This module brings for me home is this well-rounded, not only theoretical but also practical application, which is fantastically mixed with learning and transformation. So I think it will play a key role in filling in capacity gaps in countries like mine, Ethiopia.